Hey everyone, so today I'm gonna talk about ghosting. You guys voted on this topic and I am ready to dive in to talk about it. So I'm gonna tell you when I think ghosting is okay and actually good for you, yeah? And when I think it's not okay. So let's start by defining ghosting. To me, there's one type of ghosting, and that is when you've been dating someone for a little while, maybe 3 or 4 dates, 5 dates, I don't know. You've been talking consistently every day, maybe you met on a dating app or whatever, what have you, and then you sleep together and one party, usually the guy, sorry guys, you gotta stop doing this, totally ghosts when he gets what he wants. That's number one. Number two version is when you're dating someone, you don't sleep with them, maybe you go on a couple dates and the person just ghosts. Both are forms of ghosting. I think one is more emotional and one is more physical manipulation, so to speak. So let's start with why I think it's okay. I think in the emotional aspect, if you are dating someone and you're just not feeling it and you have not slept with that person, to be honest, you don't really owe them anything. I mean, unless you've talked for months or something, but that doesn't really happen. It's up to you. I personally, guess what? I've ghosted someone before. I have. When someone is really toxic or I feel someone is really negative for my space and I haven't taken those steps yet with them, that's my right to cut them out of my life. I remember one situation where I was dating a guy in the past, maybe 3 or 4 dates, and he got very possessive, very fast, started being like, "What are you doing tonight?" I'm like, "Oh, I have plans." He said, "Cancel those and come over," and was just constantly texting me all the time. I felt very uncomfortable and I was like, you know what? This isn't a healthy person. I don't owe them anything and I don't want to get in a big argument with them. So I blocked them. Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. And I gave him a warning. I said, look, you're acting a little possessive. It's not for me. He didn't change the behavior. So with people like that, look, if someone is unhealthy, if someone has the propensity to become an emotionally or physically abusive partner and you see those red flags early, ladies, you have every right to give that guy a block, okay? Really. If you have slept with the person though, I do feel you owe them a bit of an explanation, whether that's one text message or maybe a voice note and then you want to block them after. That's up to you, but it's really unfair to kind of leave someone with nothing. Now, the one version of ghosting I'm talking about that I think is not okay is the first one I mentioned, where you're dating someone for a little while, you wait 4 or 5 dates, and then you just ghost out of nowhere when you get what you want. Or, fellas, you're really bad at this, you gotta stop doing this to women. I'm telling you, your karma's gonna come back around to you. But I will say, I think hurt people hurt people. That is the biggest lesson I can take from it and I can share with you guys. These guys that ghost you, it's almost a blessing in disguise, okay? These people are not ready for a relationship. They're not in the right place for it. They might have lied to you and told you they were, but they're not. Anyone that's gonna give you tons of attention, tons of affirmation, tons of communication, and then just totally go silent once you sleep with them, that's not a good person, and that person has some internal demons. I've personally spoken to men who have ghosted, who said they still feel bad about it to this day. They were depressed or going through a hard time. They felt guilt or shame about sleeping with the girl, too fast or whatever, or just didn't want to talk to her. Humans have a fight or flight response, so in a stressful situation, our survival instinct and our amygdala kicks into our brain and says, run. That's some people, or fight or flight. I personally am a fighter. I'm ready to handle conflict and in a constructive manner. Some people aren't. Some people weren't raised in healthy families where they feel like that's okay, and so they just ghost. Honestly, these guys have done you a favor. I know it might feel like you're the victim here, being lied to and shamed and ghosted, and it's your fault. It's not your fault. This guy wasn't your guy. How is that guy going to be a partner? How is he going to show up for a family later down the line if he runs right when he gets the smallest reward of what he wants? And by the way, they all come back, ladies, don't they? And I think the strongest thing you can do is when they do come back, say, no thanks. You don't have to ghost back. I know girls that do that, oh, I'm not going to reply back. That's up to you. I mean, if you want to do that, that's your prerogative. Or you could just block that person altogether. You deserve better. This is about self-love, self-worth, knowing who to cut out of your life and who to stay in your life. So I hoped my view on ghosting helped you guys today.